Hello, everybody. I'm here with Ally Brettnacher, practicing about 10 times. Oh my God,
You crushed it.
I crushed it. It's funny because when you have texted me and I'm running, Siri pronounces your name Ally. I'm like, oh,
Yes.
Ally is my ally.
Yep, I
There we
am. And
go.
that's how you spell it too, which is funny. So that's why
Yeah,
she does say
I
it that way.
guess, but I feel like she should know that that's not how you pronounce somebody's name.
You know, you think with AI, they would just get it all right now, but
Right. Nope. Nope. They don't, which let's talk about that for the next hour.
right. Oh gosh.
I'm just
Then everyone's like signing out. See you later.
Leave bad reviews. Don't listen to this. It's a waste of your time. Well, it is lovely to see you, and I'm going to get to see you in real life, I think, in a month.
Less than a
Less than a month. Okay, so Allie you live in Carmel,
I
Indiana.
do.
Okay, which is where I'm running my marathon. I think this is going to run actually after that, but so we'll see how it goes. Are you running the half?
I am running the half. Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
awesome.
Yep.
How are
And I
you
will
feeling
have
about that?
I'm feeling great. I've done Carmel. It's probably almost 8 times at this point, the half. I've not run the marathon there, but usually because I'm doing other stuff. So I have a booth for my small business, Athlete Bouquets, and then I also will have a 20-mile cheer station. So I can't wait to cheer you on.
Oh my
I'll have
gosh,
a
that's
microphone and
perfect.
music and snacks and signs, and I'm recruiting people to join me to make it like a party at mile 20.
You have no idea how perfect that is. Yesterday, my daughter was like, Mom, your goal for the marathon should be just to not run really slow in the last miles. And by mile 19, every marathon that I've run that is in Strava, I went back and looked, and it's like by mile 19, I am dead. And so I'm feeling very good about this race in my training and increasing the durability in my legs and everything. So hopefully when I see you at mile 20, and I remember I ran it 3 years ago. Mile 20 is where it's dismal kind of, and there's
nobody.
and there's a little bit of a hill.
Mm.
The rest of it's pancake flat, but right there, I remember, and it's probably imperceptible when you're not running a marathon,
Yeah.
but when you're running a
Feels like a
marathon,
mountain.
yes, it's
Yes.
like, what the heck? This wasn't supposed to be here. This was advertised as flat. So you're gonna run the half and then run over to mile 20 and
Yep.
cheer?
Yep.
Look at you.
I'm
Good in the community.
yeah.
And this is gonna be half marathon 67? 67?
Actually, no, I
No?
just did that one.
Okay.
Where was I? Florida was my 67th. And here's the thing, my dad's 70th birthday is on April 18th. So it'll be my
Wow.
70th half marathon on his 70th birthday.
No way.
Mhm.
And that is just a happy accident.
Well, so I got to run a half marathon. Was it it was just last weekend.
That for St.
In
Patrick's Day.
Indianapolis. Yep, the St. Patrick's Day one. I just Googled. I'm like, if I can just sneak one more in, because I'm going to DC this weekend to run a half as well.
No way.
Yeah, I love racing, clearly. But
It's not
yeah,
cherry blossom.
no, it is rock and roll DC. Yeah,
Yes.
for
Okay.
St. Jude.
Wonderful. Oh,
Mhm.
great. Okay, so you're sneaking that one in, and then
So then it'll
10.
all be perfectly aligned. And I didn't realize it until, I don't know, recently. So that's why I did the St. Patrick's Day one, because I'm like, well, I can't not just do one more and then have it be perfect and
Right.
70 and 70. So.
So what does he think about that?
Oh, it's so funny. He won't even be in town because they are snowbirds in Florida, and there's no way I could get him to
Right.
come back anyway. But he is a runner. He thought it was cute. He's like, "Oh, that's so cool. Thanks, Dad."
You're like, Dad, do you not know what I've gone through to do this for you?
This many? I wonder how many of those were with my dad. In the beginning, quite a
No
few. So,
way.
yeah.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to dive into that. So I'm leaving a little note. If anybody ever sees me looking down, it's because I'm writing notes. People are
It's because you're
talking.
like bored. You're like, okay,
No,
what
no.
now?
My
What
mom
should we
did
talk
say, she
about?
was like, sometimes you look bored on those videos. And I'm like, Mom, I'm taking notes. So I remember what
Right.
to
I have to
ask
do the
people.
same.
Thank you. That it's something
Mhm.
I figured out while, kind of new at this, but you've been podcasting for how long now?
In April next month, it'll be so by the time this airs, it'll be 3 years.
3 years. Wow.
I still feel very new though, Whitney. I still feel like a newbie, especially in the world like with you and Lindsay and the other members of our podcast network. It's like I feel very small and very new, but it's so fun.
I think it's hard to grow a podcast.
Yeah.
There's so many out there.
Right.
But yours is wonderful and it's very polished and
Thank you. That's so
professionally
kind.
put together, and you do a great job asking questions. Always look for that because that's what I want to be good at. And so
Mm,
when I notice it in other people, I definitely admire it because I'm like, oh, I want to make sure I'm kind of like that, the best I can be.
mhm.
Okay, before we get into all the big questions, so you've run 70 half marathons. Is this on the way to a goal or it's just happening this way?
It's so funny because people are like, "Wow, that's so many races." For me, I just do a ton of our local races, and I've been doing that for since 2007 was my very first half marathon. And so, almost 20 years. And so I'll just do a bunch of them locally, and then I've just kind of collected others along the way, but I can't believe it's going to be 70. It does when I look back at that, I'm like, "Yeah, that is a lot of races."
It is a lot. I mean, it's
Yeah.
possible that I guess probably at that pace, within the next 2 years, you'll get to 100.
Right. I mean, thinking about that's pretty cool because I'm like, well, where can I go for that one? Some are cool.
So it's not like you're trying to knock them all out in different locations.
Nope.
You're looking at races you haven't done before and
Yeah. I
curious.
mean, I've done probably, I would say 80% of those 70 are probably local races to Indiana. And a lot of
Yeah.
those being central Indiana where I live.
Mhm.
So that's, just kind of been sort of in the tradition. And then I do like thinking about places I want to visit and looking at races they have there. We'll talk about my dad later, but we go to Vegas typically every year for the rock and roll in Las Vegas. And
Mhm.
so that's a fun one just to be able he loves Vegas. So it's fun to go there for that.
Your dad sounds fun.
He is.
Okay, and so have you grown up in Indiana? Have you been in Indiana your whole life?
Yeah, pretty much. I was born in Colorado, but we moved here when I was 4, so I don't really
Okay.
remember living there, but I can claim native status, which in the running world, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm from Colorado. I was born there."
Yeah.
Fun fact. But no, I've lived in Central Indiana for the majority of my life. I went to school in Ohio, at Miami of Ohio,
Oh, that's
and
right. Yeah.
we're now in the tournament this year for March Madness, so go sports, but
Congratulations.
thanks.
I should know that. I went to IU my freshman year
Mm.
when Bobby Knight was fired and there was a
Oh,
big protest and things were lit on fire. And then I
wow.
transferred to Georgetown, which was supposed to be a really good basketball school,
Mm,
but they were terrible. So it was like whatever's, the IU was once good at basketball. Bobby Knight's fired. They tank. I go to Georgetown. They're terrible. But
yeah.
I.
Yeah, I'm not I like sports just to be around, be around my friends and yeah,
Mhm.
have fun.
Yeah, I don't follow it. I think if my husband were to change anything about, well, I'm sure he'd change many things, but if if he were to change one thing, I think it would be that I was more of a sports fan and followed sports, but I don't.
Yeah.
I do
I'm
enjoy
with you.
running.
Yeah.
I like running. So when you travel, is this a family thing? Are we planning a race or you just go in and your family is like, this is what mom does?
It's a little bit of both. I it's hard. I have 2 young kids, 2 girls, 8 and 4. So it's a hard time for me to just be like, "Hey, see ya. I'm gonna go run a race." But I do get to do that sometimes, which is wonderful. But the last couple, like the Florida one, and then this weekend in DC, I'm bringing the girls, and my husband's coming to this one as well. His sister, my sister-in-law, lives in Alexandria, Virginia. So
Oh, nice.
I was offered an opportunity to do this race, and they live there, so we could also make it like a family
Mhm.
vacation. So it worked out really well in that way. So a little bit of both. I miss the days where I would travel with girlfriends to races.
Mm.
We all started having kids, and that kind of messed everything up. But we need to get back on a
So
schedule doing
inconvenient.
that. But,
Kids are so
darn
inconvenient.
kids.
Well, DC will be great to visit this time of year because the cherry blossoms are in
Yeah.
bloom, and, oh, I just
I'm
love
so
it.
excited.
Yeah. Well, go visit my old stomping grounds while
Oh,
you're there.
yeah, because Georgetown.
Yes, it's sort of right across the Key Bridge from Alexandria. There's Rosslyn, and then anyways, we're not gonna
Mhm,
do a
mhm.
geography lesson.
I was like, "I don't know."
Alexandria is super cute.
They have a great setup. It's really nice.
Nice. Okay. So you travel, sometimes the kids come. What is that like? I'm just curious because I am opting for my family not to go to the marathon and I'm bringing my mom because I very much admire when people bring all their
Right.
everybody, but I'm like, I don't wanna worry about anybody but myself.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a difference too between running a half marathon and a marathon,
True.
obviously. Or if I'm like racing, even like if I'm racing a half marathon
Mhm.
versus just running a half marathon to do the race. So I don't like having my kids there if I'm trying to race because I need sleep, which they do not always give me. And I
Yes.
just need to like have my routine in the morning. I don't need to be making their breakfast and my breakfast. I need to just like do my own running routine. So yeah, I mean, it that could be kinda tricky, but, you know,
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel. I would
yeah,
love for them to be there one day, yeah, plus they have soccer, and it's just way
right.
easier if I just go and do my thing,
Mhm.
and they can cheer from afar, I guess.
Yeah, I know. It is nice to have them there. I don't know, they'll probably come cheer me on this weekend. I did Marine Corps last fall, and
Oh, you
so they
did?
came out and saw me there, and it's you know how that is for spectators. It's a whole ordeal to see you for, like, 10 seconds. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Spectating is really tough.
I think it's hard.
It definitely is harder. It's stressful because 'cause you're trying to track them, and sometimes the tracking's not accurate, and you can't find parking, and the roads are
Ugh,
blocked off, and then
yeah.
you're like, "Oh my gosh, what if I miss them? This is my one chance."
Right, and runners were just bopping along, we're just, responsible for us, nothing
Yeah.
else. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if my mom doesn't make it, I know that I will see you at mile 20, so that will be great.
Yeah. Yes, you will.
Yes. Awesome. Okay, well, I want to start with diving into your business of athlete bouquets
Thank you.
because I think it's so fascinating. I want to know how it started, and you have so many, and if you can explain what the concept is, and then you have so many cool items on there. I want to know how you find them. Are you making them? I want to know everything.
Oh, yeah, so this kinda happened a little bit by accident, and a little bit I'll blame COVID. I was in software sales majority of my career, in marketing technology in particular, and I was pregnant with our 2nd daughter, and this was 2020. 2021, we had our 2nd daughter, and before she was born, I just was burnt out at work, and part of that was because of COVID. I was selling a software product that was nice to have. Nobody
Mm,
cared at all. And
mhm.
as a sales it was just being in sales and trying to get people to care, it just was awful at that time, and so my husband and I agreed, he's got a good corporate job, so we agreed that I would leave without having another job, which I'd
Mhm,
never done in my whole life, so it was
mhm.
kinda scary, but also, I could always get another job. So, I was scrolling Instagram as I often do, probably too much, and I saw a bouquet of, like, live flowers. So, athlete bouquets do not have any live flowers in them. But I saw a bouquet of live flowers with goo in it, and
Yeah.
it was in a running shoe, and I thought it was so cute, like, somebody had just put this together, and I thought, "That's adorable," and it made me think, it's like, I wonder if there's a gift like that for a runner, like an edible arrangement, right? You can send somebody
Mhm,
chocolate-covered strawberries or whatever, and I thought, "Huh, that'd be kinda cool if you could put stuff, like, into a bouquet type scenario with goo and, blister
mhm.
Band-Aids and Vaseline and all the things," and so I went down a rabbit hole and I texted a couple people and they're like, "Yeah, that sounds cool." And then I just started buying stuff on Amazon, going to Hobby Lobby, like going down a YouTube crafting rabbit hole. It was so fun,
Are you crafty?
so crafty. You can kind of see my
Oh,
craft room in the background. Um,
no, you have all these strengths that I don't have, like technology, crafting.
I mean, I don't need any more hobbies, Whitney. I can tell you that
Oh,
because
that's wonderful.
I love learning new things. Which, owning a small business can be tough too, because it's like, okay, focus on the core thing, do that
Uh-huh.
really well. So, but as you can see on my website, there's things outside of just bouquets. You can buy a mug. So the
Mhm,
mug itself, or I started making temporary tattoos with my favorite mantras on them. And I
mhm.
make stickers, and a friend of mine makes bracelets that I sell. Over time, I've just kind of compiled a couple other things. But I design everything myself. I
You
make
design
the
okay.
mugs, like, I
No
have the mugs that
way.
have a special process that you essentially print them out in special ink and then use heat to apply the design, so I can literally put anything on a mug, which is really fun. But, yeah, then I just have a ton of things that go in the bouquet itself, so I mentioned a couple. I also have, like, lip balm and various other types of fuel, like Noogs, one of our favorite fuels now, Noogs, I include those, but I try to support as many small businesses as I can, and my dream is to have it be almost like, do you remember Birchbox? I don't know if they still exist.
I do
Do you know what I'm talking
remember
about?
I
Where it would
do.
be all these beauty products and you could,
Yes.
you would try them, but brands wanted to be in the box because they
Yes.
wanted to get in front of their customer. And
Mhm.
so that would be amazing if at some point I could get to the level where brands would say, "Oh my gosh, yeah, I want to be the featured fuel in your
Mhm.
bouquets." So, but it's so fun to see people get them and I love making them. And it's not a business that I'm, building a warehouse for by any means, nor do I want to, right?
Mhm.
But it's just been so fun to make runners happy and do something that I really like at the same time.
I love it because if somebody buys it for themselves, they're celebrating themselves and they're running.
Right.
Because a
Mhm.
lot of what you have is they're race specific, like the major
Yep.
marathons, or you're buying it for somebody else, which means you're supporting somebody, you're celebrating what they're doing. And so I just love the positive aura, as the kids say. Your kids are probably too young, but aura is like a big word, and I'm probably using it wrong.
Well, I have no idea, so you're using it right for me.
We'll
Yeah.
just say vibe. I love the positive vibe or spirit behind it.
Mm.
Yeah, so I am shocked that you also design because the mugs and the stickers are so cute.
Yeah, thank you.
I assumed that you were working with somebody else, like, on Instagram. What's her name? Pace of Me, Jess?
Oh, yeah. And there's also Christy, who is Pen and Paces too,
Okay.
and some other women that I like these small businesses in the runner space. But yeah, no, I've
Mhm.
seen the one you're talking about too, Jess. I don't know her personally, but yeah, no, I do it all myself. I'm kind of a self-taught designer, so I wouldn't consider myself a pro by any means, but I enjoy doing it and it's a great creative outlet for me.
And I'm guessing your marketing from your past experiences helps too?
Yeah, a little bit, I would say for sure. It's so funny because I'm like, I'm not doing most of the things I should probably be doing when it comes to like email marketing in particular and things like that. I've definitely gotten better over time, but it's like one of those things where I know all the things I should be doing, but man, there's a lot of things to do.
Well, I mean, part of the reason why I don't know, it's always a balancing act because
Mhm.
mom first, you want to make sure that I'm speaking for myself. It's like you wanna make sure that you're present for your family and they're number 1, and so
Yes.
you need to make sure it doesn't bleed too far into the other
Exactly.
and keeping
Right.
I
I don't want
had
to have to cancel I don't want to be able to not go on a field trip like I did today because of work, right? It's so
Right.
nice to be in the season where I can control that. So,
Exactly. Often kind of struggle with that where I'm like, "Oh, I wanna grow more. I should be doing this. I should be doing more. These people are doing this." And then
yes.
it's like, "But I already feel like I am at capacity."
Yeah. I relate to that so much, Whitney.
Yeah, I mean, even just this morning, I took the kids to their annual checkup. It took way longer than it should have, and they wanna go to Starbucks. There's a long line, so I'm like, "Okay, we'll go to another Starbucks." I'm starting to get agitated. I'm like, "Guys, I have things to do." People just
Yeah.
keep, cow it to me. He's like, "Mom, you're always busy. Is there never an off day?"
Right. You're like, I
I'm like,
I don't know. I
"Yes,
kinda
but
like to be busy.
right." And
Yeah.
I'm like, "When you're at school, things are happening because when you get home, I want to be fully invested in you when you
Yes.
get home,"
Yeah.
which
Yep.
is the life we chose. It was not how I started because I was career focused. I was in journalism
Mhm.
and it's not I didn't think about that when I chose that career, how
Yeah,
it would
right.
be when I became a mom. So, okay. You got into running you ran when you were younger, but I think we might have this in common. You said it was a form of punishment.
Yeah.
Which it was for me. I would get in trouble for talking during soccer practice, and my coach
Ah.
just had me run laps the whole time. And my dad really wanted me to be a runner anyways because I ran when I was little, and so then I just quit soccer and started running, and it sounds like
Mm.
maybe that was a little bit what it was like for you?
A little bit. It took me longer to get into the running part,
Uh-huh.
but it did start out as a punishment because I was a soccer player. And I find this to be a theme with runners I talk to that were former soccer players is it's like, yeah, I hated running when I was
Mhm.
younger because it was the punishment and or the warm up. I hated running the mile to warm up. I would rather run sprints. Like, please don't make me run a mile. And so then by the time I started really, running as we look at it today, it was not till college. And I did it really not as a form of punishment to myself, which is
Mhm.
not great. So it was more of a like, I got to stay in shape. I got to run off this beer and pizza. And, it took me a while to then actually be a runner, I think, to enjoy it and do the sport for myself.
So when you would do that running in college and I can relate to that very much. I mean, I running was habitual for me, but I would do more if I felt like I was unhealthy and
Mm.
That
Mhm.
can venture it, and that can very much venture into an unhealthy space. When you were running during that time, did you feel better, or it was still kind of like an add subtract type of mindset?
Yeah, it was really an add subtract type of mindset. It was bad. I would go to the gym, I would run 3 miles on the treadmill, I would get off, do a Pilates class, get back on the treadmill, run 3 more miles. Like, I'd read my textbooks on the treadmill.
Mhm.
Like, I was very much doing it so that I could feel like I could do whatever I wanted when it came to eating and drinking, which was not healthy. So it was none of it was healthy at that
Yeah.
time, but I didn't really realize it until looking back, and I was like, yeah, that was not a good way to use the sport.
No, and I think it is very common, especially in that age, and if or at that age, and if
Mhm.
everybody else is kind of doing it, you don't see that there's anything unhealthy about it.
Yeah.
So when did it change for you?
Probably just post college. I had a it was probably when I had a boyfriend for a while. Like you get in a relationship and you're kind of like, oh, like now I'm feel good about myself. I don't have to worry as much. So then I started enjoying it more. I think it was less about punishing myself or running off the calories, and it was more about getting out there and being competitive. I'm very very competitive, and with myself, not with anyone else.
Which is a
So
great way to be.
yeah,
So you
yeah.
started so when did you start becoming more competitive? What did that look like? Did you sign up for a race, like a 5K, and then the next one you thought, let's see if I can beat that time"?
Right. Yeah. I started, like I said, 2007 was my first half. I never really did 5Ks. To this day, it's my least favorite race if
Mm.
you're racing, right? Obviously, people are
Yeah.
like, what do you mean? It's so easy. You just run 3 miles. I'm like, well,
If you're
if you're
running it
racing it,
hard.
it's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would, yeah, just try to really always come in under 2 hours was kind of my shtick for the longest time. Like I would just want to get under 2 hours and then I would be happy. And it wasn't until I think shortly before I became a mom, so after I was married, where I actually started really chasing PRs. And then it wasn't until recently that I had a coach to really figure out how to get faster.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? I was having a conversation with somebody about that yesterday where I said what I thought was impossible became possible when I got a coach and actually
Wow.
trained
Yeah.
appropriately instead of just I would get, the Jeff Galloway or the Hal Higdon plans,
Yep.
and then I would make it my own. And I remember I ran Marine Corps in college, and I ran 30 miles as part of my training. Because in my mind,
Yeah.
I was like, well, why would I only do 20 miles if the race is 26? Shouldn't you
That
go
is
over to?
wild.
Isn't that crazy?
I think you're the first person I've ever heard of doing that.
And I was
Surely
fueled by
other people
that.
have, but wow. Right. Ew, that was our college beer as well.
So gross. You could not pay me to
No,
drink
you
that.
couldn't. I wouldn't.
It's like
No,
drinking
thanks.
urine, I would
Yep.
assume. So okay. So that so what do you think was it about motherhood that made you want to start being competitive with yourself?
Well, I guess just thinking about how they view me and how I want them
Mhm.
to view themselves. So it's like, okay, what example am I setting for my girls? That really was it. It was like, well, I want them to know that they can always chase their dreams, no matter their age. And, that if they work hard, they can do things that they want. And so really that's been it. And also just about, even I think of body positivity and image, I'm so cautious of that with my girls. And when I talk about myself or I look at a picture of myself, like never talking negatively about my body or anyone else's body in front of them and helping them understand that, everybody's body is different, all those things, right? So I think that's really how it changed me. It just shifted my mindset of this isn't really just about me anymore. It's about them too. And especially as, a mom of girls, I need to make sure that I'm the good example, that I'm not like running myself, so that I don't have to eat, that I'm only eating lettuce or, whatever,
Mhm.
that they see me as, a strong mom, a strong, role model.
So, do you think your experience, especially in college, is what imparted that on you? That I don't want my girls to
Yeah.
have this relationship with themselves, with the sport, this punishment, thinking they have to earn food, that sort of thing.
Yeah, man, with what I wish for my girls, I just wish that they could find their confidence sooner than I did. It just took me a long time. I still struggle with it now, but I just look back at my college self. I'm like, man, like if you knew what you knew now, you just wouldn't treat yourself this way. You would have just, it would just be much better. And so my hope right? As I think for a lot of moms is that you want your kids to have a better life than you. And so, that really got me laser focused on making sure that they don't end up in that same mindset. But I also know that our society, it's almost inevitable, right? I mean, I can't control everything that they're exposed to.
No, but
Yeah.
you're right. I mean, it does start at home and you can do your best and you are the biggest influence on them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
But
mean,
man,
it
ugh,
would be wonderful if we could bubble them. And in today's day and age of screens and YouTube and social
right.
media and all that, and even if it's
Mm,
not a direct influence, it's their peers see things and say things
right.
and
Or even family members that'll say things like, "Oh, gosh, I look fat," or "Oh," and you're like, "Okay, like maybe that's how you talked growing up, but we don't I don't."
oh
It's
yeah.
hard, but you can't, you obviously can't go around to everybody and be like, "Hey, we don't say that in front of my kids." So,
No, I'm trying to make mental checklist and then go back and talk to my kids
right.
after and say,
Yes.
okay, about that.
Right. Like some people are going to view that differently or act differently than we should, and that's okay, but here's why it's important to, yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think it's wonderful how intentional you are with attaching your running and your passion to being a mom
Mm,
because I don't know, I think I do that, but it's also like I'm hoping they pick up on a lot of this just through osmosis in a way.
yeah.
But how else do you kind of fold them into your running? Do you talk about it with them? Do they run with you? I think I've seen some Instagram videos of them running with you, or at least your oldest.
Yeah. Yeah. So I really hope they like running. It's so hard, right? I'm sure you experience this where you're like, okay, I don't want to force it on them.
Yeah.
I want them to love the sport on their own. But yeah, I mean, they see me doing it and they want to do it too.
Mhm.
My 8-year-old's at a golden age where we got the bike running down so she can be on her bike or her scooter while I
Yes.
run.
I
She
just started
loves
doing
that.
that with my son who just turned 9, and it is a
Yeah.
game changer.
It really is. We play games, we listen to music. It's great for both of us. And then my 5-year-old, almost 5-year-old, is, of course, really pissed that she's not able to go. So I'm like, well, you need to learn how to ride a bike, girlfriend, and then you can come. But they both have done like little races. I brought my youngest to a 5K last year in a stroller, and she refused to stay in the stroller.
Oh, yeah.
That kid probably ran 2.5 miles. And
Nice.
I did not expect it. And I was kind of like kept saying, you might want to get back in the stroller. But she's a true wild second born with endless energy. So yeah. And then
I
my oldest has
really
done
hope he
mile
gets into
races.
running.
Right. I know. I'm like, I
No
need you
doubt.
to run this off. But yeah,
Yeah.
my oldest, we have a race here put on by an organization called Beyond Monumental that has the Monumental Marathon. They have a 5K and 1 mile race in June. And so we've done that as a family for the last 5 years. And so
Aw.
that's fun. It's really approachable because it's a mile. You can run, walk, strollers, whatever. And so that's been a fun way to expose them to the sport as well.
Sorry, you can hear them probably barking.
They're
Where
just
I'm a
chiming in.
they're like, "Yeah, you go, girl."
Yes. Yeah.
No, I think I'm gonna get killed by a FedEx guy, and they're keeping me safe.
Safe.
So, does your husband run still? You mentioned that you
He
used to run halves.
Yeah, we used to run he ran the Chicago Marathon with me one year, right
Mhm.
after we started dating, and so he claims to be a one and done marathoner. I
Mm.
really hope I can get him into it again. I think there's hope, but he's an F45 kinda guy, weightlifting type stuff. But he'll
Oh.
run the mini, like our Indy Mini here in Indianapolis, he'll run usually, but the last couple years he hasn't really trained and then he'll do it, so no wonder he doesn't like it. I'm like, "Well, you have to run before you just go out there and try to bang out a half marathon. Of course it's not gonna be fun, You're not 20 anymore, honey."
Yeah.
So, yeah.
My husband's sort of the same way. His college buddies will do an ultra in the summer, and my husband's training is very he's got a super bad knee from a soccer
Ugh,
injury. He played college soccer. But it's very I mean, maybe one double digit run, and then he goes to run like 75 miles in the mountains, and it doesn't quite go as planned. And
jeez. Yeah.
no kidding.
Okay. Well,
Again, you aren't 20 anymore.
yeah.
Just
Yeah.
roll out of bed and do these things. And so, okay, well, I'm glad that he has his passion. The F45,
Mhm.
that's weightlifting, you said?
Yeah, it's like I don't wanna say boot camp. What is it? It's like circuit training kind of, I
Okay.
think. I have not been to a class yet, but he really enjoys that type. So there's no treadmills, there's cardio in like burpees and things like that, but
Uh,
not
Yikes.
like running on a treadmill or doing the rower like you do at Orange
Uh-huh.
Theory or Shred.
Well, it sounds like maybe you can make a deal where maybe you try a class and he can do a half marathon or
Yeah, well,
something.
everyone at his gym, who they've built a great community, everyone at his gym's like, well, why don't you come to the gym? I'm like, well, also we have 2 young kids. They don't have childcare. I'm like, well, because
Right.
he has his time he goes, and then,
Yes.
so
That is
that whole thing.
that is the reality. Again, kids, they're just so
They
inconvenient.
Here we are on a, like, mother running podcast, just, I'm just complaining about my children, how they
No.
get in the way of everything. I
But
know,
they
but it's
may
funny.
make they make us we have to plan ahead. Gone are
Right.
the days of just popping out. Although Cal being able to ride his bike is wonderful
Yeah.
because then if I don't get it for whatever reason or my husband and daughter are gone to a soccer tournament, I don't have to find somebody to watch him. We can go, which is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
what role has your dad played in your running journey? Because you said he was a
Yeah.
runner, and so, I mean, I would think running would be viewed in a beautiful light growing up with a runner instead of being a punishment.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is that first I should say my mom was the first runner in our
Oh,
family because otherwise she listens
nice.
to this, she'll be like, "Hey, I ran first.
Right.
She did." But it was for both of them, it was later in life. So they didn't grow up as runners. So I didn't grow up really seeing my parents go to races all the time or, if you think about how our kids are exposed to the sport.
Mhm.
It was more they would do the mini once a year. I don't even remember really seeing my mom train for it, but she did. And so she ended up having hip problems, but my dad caught the bug. So he has been running since then. I think he maybe didn't even run his first marathon until he was like in his 50s,
No
maybe.
way. I
Yeah.
love that. That's
That's probably
awesome.
true because we ran our first marathon together was Chicago 10, 10, 10. So math,
Oh,
like do the math, I guess. So he was later, that was his second. I don't know. Was that his first? I don't know. Anyway, so it took him a long time to find the sport too, which is kind of cool. We almost found it at a similar time. But he was the one who encouraged me to do my first half marathon. In fact, I think I signed up for my first half marathon and didn't do it. Like I ended up not training for it. And which now
mhm.
thinking about that, I'm like, what? I would never do that. But it took a little bit of convincing for me to end up doing my first one. But then I really did. I kind of got hooked from
Do
that
you think
point.
you were scared of the distance or the commitment of training?
Yeah, I don't know. I just didn't care. I guess I just wasn't interested. I mean, if I think back to, because he tried to get me to do it when I was in high school, even. And in high school, I had no interest in my parents at all. I was horrible in high school. But I think, once it was really bad.
This podcast is turning into a public apology. Mom,
Yeah,
dad,
I've publicly
sorry.
apologized to my mom on multiple podcasts, actually. Like, sorry for being the worst teenager. At least, I love you now. It's good. Everything's fine. But
We
yeah,
grow
so
from these moments.
it took me a while to come around to the idea of doing it. I don't think I was scared of it. I just really wasn't interested. And then once I finally did it, I thought, oh, okay, I get it. This is pretty fun. This is really cool. So yeah,
Okay. Yeah, let's unpack that a little bit. So you go from being disinterested to now running is like you're going to run your 70th half marathon. It's
right.
your career and you have a successful podcast, you have a successful small business rooted in running.
Wild.
How did this shift happen?
Man, yeah, I mean, I don't know, maybe like a true firstborn, I just go all in, If I'm in on something, it's like, okay, now I'm all in on this. I mean, I got so lucky to be able to do that, right? Because I am fully aware of the fact that not everybody gets to do what they want to do. But yeah, I don't know. I guess it just became such a great outlet, and the energy and the community just fueled me. And so, gradually over time, it's like I've been without really realizing it, just doing more and more races, having more and more people I know in the community. And then, when the opportunity presented itself for me to do something that I wanted to do, that's what was there for me. And then here we are. So, yeah, the other thing I will say is that it terrifies me to lose the joy of the sport,
Mm,
right? To be like, I don't want to run. If I don't want to burn myself out, you know what I mean? Because it's like I'm doing, or let's say I get injured and I can't run for whatever reason, or
mhm.
like poor Lindsey Hine, who's recovering and hasn't been able to run for a while. It's like I think about that, how hard that would be for me to not have the sport in my life. So yeah, there's that line too of figuring out how to be competitive and improve, but also figure out where I can find joy without, the pressure of that competitiveness.
I crossed over that line. That was my story, and lost the joy, battled injuries for 5 years,
Mm.
basically barely ran for 5 years. So that speaks to me very much. And then being able to re-enter, you hold on to that joy so much. And for me, the key to being competitive and wanting to get better is, and it's very odd, but it's not setting hard time
Mm.
goals.
I like
It's
that
I
though.
am letting it unfold, and we will see where my fitness is on race day, but I love the process, and the
Mhm.
outcome, let it be what it will be, because doing it the other way, just it put too much pressure on me.
Yeah.
I put too much pressure on myself. What do you think has helped you find that line?
So, in a similar way, not setting time goals or just running a race, like not setting a goal and being like, I am not going to race this. I'm going to run this
Mhm.
and seeing what that looks like and really sticking to that. Maybe grabbing a friend and saying, okay, we're going to just have fun and have somebody that's going to hold you to that. The other side of it is volunteerism and like being part of the community, whether it's pacing, which I've done, I think once officially. I would like to do more pacing. And then also Ainsley's Angels is an organization I'm really passionate about. And for those not familiar, they allow those who cannot run the ability to participate in the sport. So they have these beautiful racing chariots that are built for running that you push somebody across the finish line, which has been really an amazing place to find joy and give back to the community. And so I love encouraging people to think about things like that, whether it's pacing or even just volunteering at the race itself or getting involved with an organization. Those are different ways you can experience a race, and it's equally as gratifying, if not even more, really.
Yeah, because I think it pulls you out and you can see the big picture
Yeah,
instead of just being so narrowly focused on yourself.
exactly. Yep.
And so do you have to do special training to push a chariot for longer distances?
You do not? I mean, well, officially. Are you asking like how do I train to do that?
Yeah, how do you
Like,
train? Yeah.
okay. Yeah. So I was like, well, they don't make you do anything. You could literally you show up, you lend your legs and it's all good. But
Lend your legs.
you can even that's what they say, I love it. You can even walk, right, in those scenarios. But I have done the Indy Mini this May will be my third half marathon with Ainsley's Angels. I've done a 5K as well. And then last year, the Marine Corps Marathon, I did my first marathon with Ainsley's Angels.
Oh,
And that was
wow.
terrifying. So I did train a little differently where it's hard during summer. I'm like trying to grab a kid, but they're like in camp or whatever. But I would push my kids. At one time, I pushed kettlebells in a stroller
Oh my
just to,
goodness.
get used to having something I'm pushing. But then what I like to say too is it's hard, but it's not as hard as it seems. Like it's actually easier than stroller running because these chariots are built for racing. Like they're lightweight. They're not, you're not pushing a big stroller. It doesn't feel that way. But I did try to do more upper body work. My coach was putting in more, upper body strength throughout my training cycle. And yeah, I ultimately was supposed to do it by myself, but I ended up reaching out to a complete stranger on the internet, and he ended up running the entire race with me and helping me push. He probably pushed
Oh,
more than I did, actually. But I was, because I was so distraught about, can I actually do this?
well,
Can
yeah.
I push for 26.2 miles by myself?
Because
So,
that is scary because
because then
not
what if
only
I
are you,
don't? And then,
yeah,
well,
you're
then
letting
she
them
doesn't get to
down.
cross the finish line.
Yeah.
And, she flew from California for this. Like I
Oh,
mean, it's
wow.
crazy. So, yeah. And typically you have a partner, like it's usually two
Mhm,
people. But in
mhm.
scenarios where they don't have enough people volunteering, like lending their legs, then they have to be like, hey, would you be okay running by yourself? And so when they asked me, I said, okay. And then I really regretted it. But part of it is they try to match you up with somebody who has the same pace that you do.
Uh,
And so I don't want this to make me sound like an asshole, but the people that they would have paired me with would have been a lot slower than I usually run. And
mhm,
it's not that I care about the time. It's that my legs it would be harder on my body. I know
mhm.
that sounds weird, but I think people will understand that.
No, runners
Where's that?
understand that,
Yeah.
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 As a
So,
coach, when I've tried to slow runners down and they tell me that it feels awkward to run at that pace, I'm like, "Okay, then don't worry." Like, I just wanna make
right.
sure it feels easy.
Yes.
You can
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
So are you able to share the girl that you pushed across the finish line, a little bit of her story?
Yeah, so the Ainsley's Angels has a podcast called Together We Shall. So anybody interested in other stories like this, you can go listen to their podcast. Ainsley's dad, Rooster, hosts it. He's also been on my podcast. Another
Oh,
plug for you.
cool.
But but the woman I got to push, her name's Melissa Dayton, and she's from California. And her mom, Jeannie, and I got to meet via email leading up to the race. And then we got to meet the night before the race. And Melissa's 37 years old. She was in a car accident when she was little. I can't remember how old, maybe 3, like she was a toddler. Her mom was killed in that accident. And the way that Jeannie became her mom was she actually was in a relationship with Melissa's dad, and he was not a good person, didn't treat Melissa the way she needed to be treated. And so ultimately, Jeannie got custody of Melissa, and
Oh, wow.
she has a caretaker as well who helps her, who I also got to meet. And yeah, it's so incredible. Women like Jeannie who are just called to take in these kids or who have these kids and give them an incredible life is so humbling. And it makes you realize like what the sport is all about, and like what the meaning in the sport is just so different when you think about being able to give Melissa that experience
Mhm.
versus am I going to BQ at this race? It's like
Right.
so different.
What
Yeah.
was it like when you guys crossed the finish line?
So, well, the thing is Melissa slept the whole time. So it's like
Did she?
we had to wake her up to be like, you have the medal now. Like, look, but it's actually really good if they sleep. Usually it means they're comfortable and they can relax. Sadly, it means she keeps her mom up at night. But yeah, when we crossed the finish line, it was so emotional. The guy that I ran with, Rob Perez is his name. He's actually a pretty well-known influencer, especially in Washington, D.C.
Mm.
So it was also like running with a celebrity. But I say that because he actually captured us, crossing the finish line in a video, which I'm so grateful for. I just was like, I just remember being in tears. And, then you have the Marines give you your medals,
Mhm.
and that's also emotional. And, but seeing her get her medal, even though she wasn't awake for it, it was really fun to be able to give her that experience and give her mom, that
Yeah.
experience. We got to
Oh,
see her on
wow.
the course and, got to spend time with her before and after. And so it was really special.
That is so special. And so do you have one coming up that you'll be doing?
Yes. So the Indy Mini, again, it's one of our, I'll
Okay.
say for Indianapolis people or Indiana Hoosiers, it's a rite of passage, a race.
Mhm.
It's huge. It really kicks off the month of May in our city, which is big because of the Indianapolis 500, which is maybe the only reason people know about Indianapolis. So yeah, that's in just over 40 days as we record this, is the 50th running of the Indy Mini. So I will be pushing with Ainsley's Angels there as well. And so I don't know who I'm pushing yet, but
Oh, you don't?
you usually find out kind of days before. You don't find out for the marathon, you find out a little further in advance so you can train for that, right? Knowing
Mhm.
what, that Melissa wasn't a, 200-pound adult male, right? Is
Right.
very different. I was starting to get nervous actually. I was like, "Are you going to tell me cuz I need to just mentally prepare for,
Yeah.
really how hard this is going to be." So I won't know till closer to. But now that I've been part of the events a little more, I've know more of the
Mhm.
families, which is really cool.
That is so cool. Do you get their backstory
It
too?
depends. Usually you can absolutely because at the start line, it's really cool for the mini. We all line up in front of the NCAA Hall of Champions, downtown Indianapolis, and it's just the sea of pink. And then you meet, the family and the writer, and you can then, ask them, most importantly too, about the needs of the writer. Like, are
Mhm.
they going to go, what do they need while we're racing? Are they going to have to go to
Mhm.
the bathroom? I have a funny story about that from last year. Or, yeah, just what should we be aware of? And then you get to chatting with them like, oh, so why did you start doing this? And you find out about whatever they may have been born with or, have experienced in their life. And yeah, that's one of the best parts because then it really just motivates you.
What are
Yeah.
some of the reasons why they wanna take part in it?
Gosh, to give them something to do. You think about these kids, our kids, they have like 800 activities. Well, with kids of their ability, there's not as much. So they find out about the organization one way or another. And the reason the race was founded was because Rooster, Ainsley's dad, when he pushed Ainsley with Dick and Rick Hoyt, who are very well
Oh,
known in that
yeah,
side of the
uh-huh.
sport. And he's like, I'll never forget the look on her face. Like
Mhm.
the smile that she had with the wind blowing in her face and being in the environment, they're treated so well on the course. Everybody's cheering them on. Just that whole experience is one that these parents want to give their kids
Mhm.
like any parent would, right? So I think that that's really it.
That's amazing. I
Yeah,
love that.
so amazing.
Well, I'll be sure to include information about the organization in the show notes for
Yeah,
everybody
please.
listening. So I'm curious about your training for goal races. You're competitive with yourself. You're
Mm.
running these races, a lot of races for fun. What does your training look like for races that you are actually training for?
Yeah, that's a great question. I've worked with a coach now for 5 years maybe, really ever since I started my business. And especially even this year, like I don't necessarily know that I'm going for a PR, but I
Mhm.
tell her, "Hey coach, train me like I am. Like I want to keep building my fitness. And whether or not I want to use that on a race day is then ultimately up to me. But it'll be a mix of easy days, speed work, cross training. And then there's some long runs that have, a workout in those to continue to work on my fitness and speed. But yeah, I'll say we joked about Jeff Galloway and Hal Higdon earlier. I was a Hal Higdon girl, and
Okay.
I would go out and I would run whatever the day said, 4 miles. I would just go run 4 miles as fast as I felt like I could that day,
Yeah.
and that's how I trained.
Same.
So
Same.
no,
Yeah.
so no wonder I never really figured out how to race. I always thought about banking time, right?
Mhm.
Like, oh, I'm going to run these miles fast because I know at the end I'm going to need that time back. Whereas
Mhm.
you're supposed to do the opposite. You're supposed to go easy and then finish strong. No, I had no idea. So anyway, so working with a coach for my goal races has allowed me the ability to do that. Having the mixture of easy days and days with speed workouts has really taken me to the next level. She'll program for me. I work out 6 days a week. Sundays are my rest day. But yeah, it's all a variety. I do Peloton as well for my cross training, as well as some strength, which I begrudgingly do most of the time. Most of the time, I'm sure I'm in good company there. But yeah,
And so you don't pick a goal race. You don't
yeah,
tell her,
it
"Hey, I'm"
depends. Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
like what was it last year? No, not last year. 2024. I wanted to PR my marathon, so we did. We worked up to that, and I did it. I PR'd my marathon. The year before that was the half marathon I wanted to PR. And then, last year I strictly told her, this is a fun year. I'm not PRing. I'm going to do this for
Mhm.
Ainsley's Angels. It's going to be my marathon. I don't care what the time is. Just want to be able to do it. And then this year I've been like really weirdly on the fence.
Okay.
Is it weird to you that everybody, like I see runners' schedules for like the whole year in January. And I'm like, well, I don't know. I know we have to plan as parents, especially, but I also was like, I don't know. And you know what? I don't have to make a decision on whether or not
No.
I want to PR this year. I don't have to declare that. It's kind of
No.
funny. I think in the world of the internet, some of that is good and inspirational, but some of it makes me feel like, oh, well, do I need to be like, should I be picking my goal race for the year? Do I need to do that? And then I remind myself, no. So I'm doing so many half marathons this spring, and I don't think I'll PR. That's not really what I'm going for necessarily, but I like to see what I can do.
Yeah. Well,
So it's kind of a mixture.
I think that's a perfect mixture
Yeah.
because you're still bettering yourself. It's still exciting for you,
Yeah.
but like you said, you're not losing the joy. There's not too much pressure, and you're not losing
Yeah.
sight of the big picture.
Right. Yeah. The pressure I put on myself, I've just struggled with
Mhm.
that pressure. Like I've put too much on myself to the point where like I'll wake up race morning and feel physically ill because I'm so worried about my
Yeah,
race. It's like, for what?
that's what
What is the point of doing that to yourself?
I know, and it still can happen. I would be filled with so much dread that after my long layoff with injuries and I ran Chicago in the fall, it was just decide I am just running this. I'm going to have a good time.
Mhm.
I want to have fun the whole time and just take the pressure off. And that's what I did. And
Yeah.
it really, so I am not feeling dread for Carmel. I know that I
Yeah,
will
it's
get
so great.
increasingly nervous
Yeah.
because it is a long way, but I don't feel that pressure in really saying, I'm training for a certain time, but not saying I am going for this time just
Right.
really helps so much.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, but I'm with you. I know people lay out their calendar and I have an idea. And a part of it is because I had to take so much time away that I am marathoning and
Yeah.
I do have a goal that I want to get before I'm too old to do it. Which I hate to say, it sounds negative, but it's, you also have to be realistic, right?
Yeah. Well, I need to keep getting older to hit if I want to be Q is the way I'm looking at that too. I'm like, well, I need to keep getting to the next level so I can get more time. Otherwise, I don't know. That's a whole
Are you
nother topic.
close to a
I mean, it's all relative, I suppose. I need probably around a 3:30, and my PR is 3:43. So it's not that far, but it is far. That's a long way, especially when you're thinking about buffers and things like that. It's like,
Right. So
I
is it
just don't know.
3:35
Yeah, and so
officially,
then
but
I
it's
think about
3:30, yeah.
3:30. Yeah, exactly.
So
Because
are
'Cause I'm
you
like, well, it's
close
gonna be at
to
least that.
the next age bracket?
Yeah, I am. So
Oh,
July, I
okay.
turned 40, which actually I
Oh,
didn't realize that last fall I could have gone for a BQ because of my age on race day. I didn't know that,
right, yeah.
but it's fine. I didn't need that pressure last year anyway. I am toying with the idea of doing an ultra marathon before my birthday. I need to make that decision like now because I need to train for it. But I don't know. I'm getting more and more peer pressure, good peer pressure
From
to
your
do that
friends?
from friends who are like, "You'll love it. It's great." I'm kind of like, I don't know. Sounds terrifying as a road racer at heart. I'm so type
Uh-huh.
A, road racer. I think it'd be good for me to figure
Yeah.
out how to enjoy the ultra scene a little bit too. We've got such a wonderful community in central Indiana for that. So, which is surprising maybe to some people listening, but we do.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
usually I feel like you need mountains around you and you have
Right.
cornfields. Your
Yeah.
ultra races are just running through corn
Right.
stalks.
There's more than corn in Indiana. I think there used to be commercials that said that. It's true. We have hills in southern Indiana.
Do you? Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I guess you do. I have run in, like, across the bridge in Louisville, and it is very hilly.
Yeah, which is like
Uh,
all relative again if you're talking about like Western
right,
United States. That's all, yeah, very
yeah.
different.
But there is a lot of corn in Indiana.
There is. There's a lot of corn here. It's delicious.
It's still and now
Nothing
this
like
is
that 4th of July corn. I tell you what, it's so good. State fair corn.
it's a podcast about corn.
Oh God, once, Whitney, I was running the monumental, I think it was the half, and I got passed by a woman dressed as corn.
Oh,
I'll
no.
never, ever forget it.
Do we feel like
I
these
was
people
like,
are just
damn it.
showboating? I mean,
I'm like, God, you just really got to crush me. I had another guy tell me a story about how he got passed by a hamburger. I love it. It's so funny, but it's like you see those videos
it's
too on the internet where people are like, I'm just here trying to survive. And then a guy in high heels runs by me or like a 90-year-old woman or, so humbling. But
it is.
corn.
I was passed by a chicken on Thanksgiving Day. I was very confused, and it was it was a windy day,
Oh
big
my
blow
God.
up. I'm like, how is
That's,
he doing this? And why is he dressed as a chicken?
yeah, I'm like,
It's
that's not, yeah,
the
that's
wrong
so funny.
bird. I was very
Yeah.
confused by that. Um, okay, well, I am very much looking forward to seeing you in real life in Indiana.
Yes. I cannot wait.
Yeah, I am so excited. I'm excited for your half. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you.
And well, all of your halves.
I know, it's like too
60
many. My friends are just
weekend.
kind of like, okay, good job. Like my non-runner friends.
What does your family think? I
Well,
mean,
I'm in good company on my side, right? Because my parents a little bit, right?
yeah.
My youngest sister does run. My middle sister, no. And then my husband's family, actually my sister and brother-in-law in Alexandria, he's an ultra marathoner and
Oh, nice.
marathoner.
Oh,
She's a
great.
marathoner. And then his dad used to be like a not professional, maybe professional, like weightlifter, power lifter back in
Oh,
the day.
wow.
So we definitely have that love of fitness on both sides. So at least
That's awesome.
they're all very supportive
So people
regardless, which is
understand.
good. Yeah. His mom, my mother-in-law, I love her, she doesn't quite get it, but she's supportive. But she's like, okay, you don't think that's too many, too much
Uh-huh.
running. But yep.
It
I'm
is
like,
real.
nope,
I mean,
love it.
non-runners just don't understand
Yeah.
runners, and they never will. So
Yeah.
that's
And that's
wonderful
totally
that you
fine.
have so many in the bloodline
Yeah. That are
that
so supportive.
understand and that your daughters are showing an interest.
Yep. Fingers crossed. It's like, be cool. Just be cool. Just don't try to.
Yeah, well, I've talked about this on the podcast. My daughter, who just turned 12 last week, really wanted to do a half marathon. But I talked her into a
Oh,
10K because I was like, developmentally, I think that's risky. But she did
yeah.
great and she loves it. And my son, they're
Ugh.
competitive with one another. So he wants to do the races. And so we'll see. It's kind of like an off season thing for them. But they
Yeah.
love the environment. I mean, the race day
Mm.
environment, nothing. It's impossible to be in a bad mood. Well, I guess if you have a
Yeah.
really bad day in a marathon, I've been there. But
Yeah.
going to especially a local event, I mean, it's
Mhm.
really hard to be in a bad mood after a race.
Yeah. Agreed. It's so fun. I can't wait.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited for you. Safe travels to DC, and I will see you in Cornland.
Stop it. I'll bring you
I
some corn to the
if
finish line, okay, Whitney?
if I look like I'm running too slow, just throw some corn husks
Let's
at
get you
me.
some
Get
dried
going.
corn and just throw it at you. I'll just get you a nice butter. You know what? Buttered corn might not be bad at mile 20 of a marathon. There's a lot of carbs in that.
I
It
feel
tastes
like it
pretty
would be
good.
not
Be hard to
good.
eat though. I'm sure somebody's eating corn during a marathon. Not
I'm
me.
no. That's what I'll look for. I'll just look and see if there's somebody just chowing down on a corn husk
Maybe
out
I'll
there
dress as corn just for you.
to make sure I don't miss you
You
because
won't miss
at
me. I promise
mile
you that.
okay, mile
Yeah.
20, I don't know what kinda shape
There's
I'm
a
gonna
the
be
place
in.
I'll be is on a corner, and then there's like a tiny little jaunt that you have to go in this like neighborhood street. So you'll see me
Okay,
twice. So it'll be
great.
impossible, yeah, to miss me.
Okay,
Yeah,
wonderful. Because sometimes I am kind of in my
I
own
get it.
world.
Totally get that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I am hoping to talk myself into going into the pain cave instead of being afraid of it. It's
I know, embrace it. Yeah. All
hard.
that self-talk, you're just like, "Okay, you gotta learn to love it. Gotta learn to live in the pain cave. It's
Yeah,
not a fun place to live."
I have had the realization that I am actually very afraid of being in pain and that I hold back. So I
Yeah.
tried to get myself mentally ready to
Seems
embrace it.
seems like that's like a human response or something. Like humans don't wanna be in pain. They'll
Right.
give you a hard time. It's like exactly the thing that you probably should be afraid of
Right. It's
as a human.
self-preservation or else we
Yes.
would not be
Exactly.
around anymore as a species.
Yeah.
And on that note,
And
Allie,
on
it
that
was
note,
great chatting with you and I
oh,
will see
so
you
fun.
soon.
Oh, this flew by. Thanks, Whitney.
Bye.
Bye.